Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amethyst Talks. Today is November 7th, 2020. My name is Amethyst Brooks. Make sure you follow me on all social media, listed in the description box below, for updates on all podcasts. So today, Joe Biden has become the projected president-elect. They are saying he won the election. But did you really win? I know Biden won. At least that's what CNN and the New York Times have declared him the winner. Fox News has yet to declare him. But did you really win? Now, I'm not associated with the direct party. But I look at both sides and I weigh both options. And what I see right now is everyone's celebrating. Why are you celebrating? Did you get a new job? Did a new COVID package get released? Why are you celebrating? Because as far as I'm concerned, nothing has changed for me today or tomorrow that will be different from yesterday. I mean, look at it. The Senate is held by 48 Republicans to 46 Democrats. Do you think any new legislation will be passed? Probably not. I mean, the House is still up for grabs at this point, with a necessary 218 to win. Republicans have gained 5 new seats, and the Democrats have lost 4. I mean, all this is telling me is that any promises that Joe Biden has made will be automatically met with brick walls. And then what is he going to say? Well, I couldn't get anything passed because the Republicans in the Senate or the House have put up roadblocks. It's not me, it's them. And that'll be the story for the next 4 years. So tell me why you are celebrating. I'm hearing comments and seeing posts on Facebook. Oh, now that you're in office, can you relieve me of my student debt? I have student debt too, but I don't think it's going to be relieved in any fast time soon. Biden promised student debt relief, a fat COVID package, a slower rollout, but a more stable COVID vaccine, a faster start to the economy, a sudden influx of new jobs. And to some of you, apparently you think he's going to legalize weed in all 50 states for recreational use, not just medicinal. All these things, I hate to say it, are fantasies. None of that's going to get passed. Can you guys not open your eyes and see that you've been misinformed? Once again, you were so caught up in the man. Focus was detoured away from more important assets like the House and the Senate. That is who you should have been making sure your vote mattered with. And then secondly, you could have focused on the president. But if you're a so-called Democrat, I would have been making sure that any chances of Democratic senators grew, I can't find the word I want to use, were any chances that they were going to get it was absolute. or at least I would have gave it my damnedest shot, because you were so worried about the quarterback, you forgot about the rest of the team. I would have put more effort into who is going to be taking those seats that are a lot harder to get out of. Why? Because when voting, do you know who you're voting for locally? You might have heard their name, you might have seen signs in the yard or other people's yards. But most people, not myself, just skip through the rest of the questions when they go vote. Well, who do you want on the school board? Or do you believe Supreme Court justices should be retained? The current sitting Supreme Court justices should be retained. Or what about your Senate choices? Or who do you think should be governor? They might pay attention to governor, but for the rest of them, they don't honestly give two flying. That first question is where their attention lied. Who do you want to be president? Nothing will change. With Trump, yes, there's several things I disagree with what he has said. However, this should have been the time where actions were greater than words. I don't care what is coming out of someone's mouth. I want to see what they're actually doing. I can't lie. My chances of returning to that job that was delayed because of COVID-19 were greater. Yes, things might not have been completely safe to return to that job. But there was progress. Am I saying Trump should have stayed in office? I'm not saying anything. Because like I said, I don't belong to a certain party. And I do not want to give my vote out, because then there will suddenly be a bias on this podcast, and I want to be unbiased. I want you to look at both sides for yourself. Where my focus lies is how long it will take to get things back to semi-normal and healthily and safely. This is not a time of celebration. We're still in the midst of a pandemic. My state's unemployment rate's still at 7%. Yeah, it's better than it was before, but it's still relatively high. People have lost jobs. People do not know where their next meal will come from. And you're celebrating as if something's really going to change for anyone. Some of you will still be jobless or are waiting for unemployment benefits to kick in for God knows how long. That COVID package that everyone's, Joe's in there, so it's definitely going to come through. You might not see that until next year, maybe spring of next year. Even Nancy Pelosi her hopes have been cut on passing one before the end of this year. Oh, you thought Joe could sprinkle some magic and wave a wand and make that happen overnight? No, there's a process to this. You were too worried about the poster child. Voters should have been more informed. People in general should be more informed. There should be a broader understanding of how exactly our government works. Maybe they need to make this a longer class in high school or college, or maybe the news channels should stop focusing on beating up a president or strengthening another president with their words, whether that's Fox or CNN, and inform people more about their other options. You're blindsiding the American public. You gave them promises that you know you can't keep. And that goes for both Trump and Biden. It just so happens there was a better chance that some of Trump's promises could have actually slid through. Why? Because the Senate is held by Republicans. Do you think, as me, someone who's a multiracial individual, do you think I care that Kamala Harris is black or half black or a person of color? I don't care what color she is. As long as you get the job done, and clearly she won't be able to. Think. I know I cannot be surrounded by this many ignorant individuals. Your life is not going to change. I'm sorry. I mean, if anything, black people just elected a black female cop as their vice president. Oh, did you forget what she did prior? That is highly ironic, especially with all the things that's happened this year. All I want is someone to do the job. I'm not worried about who it is, just someone who has enough of a skill set and enough of a brain to get these things that we need passed. Of course I want student relief debt. I have student loans. Of course I want a COVID package to go out. Something that preferably includes hazard pay, because right now I'm working. And I've worked the majority of the pandemic. Every time I leave my home, I'm putting my family at risk. Of course, maybe a COVID vaccine is necessary in order to keep things moving. Will I personally be taken? That's another subject for another day. I want the economy to be hustling and bustling again. I want new jobs to become present. I just graduated college, like I mentioned in the podcasts before. Weed legalization, I believe it could help profit states, individuals, in individual economies. But I do believe there should definitely be some restraints. That's, once again, a subject for another day. But to tell me someone's life should be completely ruined because they had a little bit of pot in their hand that they are in their pocket, that they can no longer get financial aid or ever get a job for the rest of their life because they had some pot in their pocket. Yeah, I definitely think some changes should be done about that. It was their choice. That, I think, is imposing on their own individual liberties. So if I decide to inhale bleach right now, that is my choice. Would I do that? Hell, no. No. Heck no, excuse me. But that's my choice. Should I have to serve years in prison? No. Should that stop me from ever getting another job? Well, in that specific situation, that might affect my sanity. So maybe that would, but for weed, no. But once again, that's a subject for another day. There is not going to be the change you wanted it to be. Once again, this is another failure for 2020. So I really want you to ask yourselves, did you really win? Well, thank you for joining today. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Amethyst Talks. Follow me on Twitter at AmethystBeanTalks. And hit follow on this podcast. Remember, we podcast every Saturday. Thank you.